So I have an idea on how to end all corruption and nepotism in this world, from federal to local to any level corruption that's going on currently. I know how to stop it. This is going to sound crazy and like it's not possible, but hear me out. It definitely is. I've thought a lot about this, and this is a surefire way to hold everyone accountable. Currently, people can commit crimes or do something bad, and if they're connected to the system in some way, shape, or form, they can get away with it, where the system will turn a blind eye. Whether it be police officers that have turned blind eyes for friends, or whether it be prosecuting attorneys, because ultimately the power of the county resides, or the power of the legal system resides in the prosecuting attorney, because no matter how hard the police try or how matter everything, the prosecutor can look at any case and just throw it out. So they have the ultimate power. That's almost too much power. So almost a checks and balances is what I'm proposing between a local prosecuting attorney and the local prosecutor's office and the justice system, and we the people. So this is a way for we the people to get the power back in our hands and be able to control the system and make it right and just, because right now there's not justice. I feel personally that the court system punishes people with monetary gains, which is obvious, or monetary reasons, and if somebody is poor and doesn't have that much money, that's not the same punishment for somebody that has a lot of money. So that's not a fair and equal justice system right off. That completely aside, I'm not even touching on that or hitting on that. I probably shouldn't have brought that up. But besides that, the fact that there's an ability for people in the system to protect their friends or protect themselves or do whatever. And I'm even talking about qualified immunity, breaking down qualified immunity and breaking down past that, and just holding everyone accountable for their actions. And that's all that I'm really asking or trying to achieve in any of this is make everything fair, a system that's fair to where nobody can cheat the system. And it's not me. It's not anybody else. I can't do this by myself. This is in a community everywhere. It has nothing to do with me. And that's what's great, because no matter how just or good I think I am, if I go out and I can try and save the world, if they silence me, it's over. It's done. But this is an idea that will carry on, that nobody can stop. Nobody can silence it. Take this idea and run with it, and don't ever shut it down, because this will give us the freedom and put the power back to the people. Please, just listen to what I'm saying and think about it. All right, so here we are. Take at your courthouse or anywhere that you can put a public camera on that will not be tampered with, and if it does to get tampered with, to where we know there's people around that will do something with it, and maybe sign up people to be like protectors of it, or even guard it if it comes to that, to where it gets that crazy. We can adapt and overcome anything, and this is a crazy idea at first, but if you really think about it and play it out, it will work. And there may be obstacles, but they're minor obstacles that we could overcome and figure out. So we take a box and we put this box on public camera in front of the whole world on the courthouse, and that's where that box stays, and the whole world can see a camera of it 24/7. And at any point in any time, any human being, not a prosecutor, not a cop, anyone who's had something wrong done to them, can walk up to that and drop all the evidence that they have in that file and say, boom, this is it. And that file's under lock box, and you cannot get into it in any way, shape, or form. So now this file of evidence is in a locked box in there. And so everybody in the community, the more people we can get involved, the better. Let's say there's 40,000 people in this community. If we can even get 5,000 of them, that's a lot of people. Or optimally, we would want every person in the community, but that can't happen. That's a dream. But just get as many people involved as we can. And from there, draw it like a bingo. Every person has a number. Every person that says, hey, I'll be a part of this, I'll sign up, this sounds like a good idea, every person gets a number. And now it's in we the people's hands. And so once a month, we draw numbers. And 10 people come, random people. We have no idea who they are. They don't know each other in any way, shape, or form. That's why the more people that sign up, the better, because you can't have nepotism. You can't cover stuff up. And at this point, it's completely random. So these people come in and they all look at the case. They open up the lock at the same time, all on camera, and they sit there, and maybe each one of them read the case, maybe together. There's so many different ways you could do it. But they read the case and then they vote on it. And if the majority of them vote, if 6 of them vote that, hey, there's something wrong here, because we can't do a unanimous decision, because that does leave a door open for, hey, somebody might know this guy, or hey, a couple people might know this guy. A majority of 6 out of 10 immediately says, okay, now this needs to go to a real trial, the public trial, because due process is our greatest process and the greatest thing that we have. It's one of the greatest parts that the founding fathers gave us. It's if not the greatest, if we use it adequately, which we don't. They abuse the system for their gains, but we can actually stand up and use the system for our gain. Anyways, so due process has to occur at that point, and in which case 12 jurors will decide the guilt or innocence of this person on trial, but it bypasses the prosecuting attorney. And if the prosecuting attorney won't work with us on this, we elect prosecutors who will, and that's that. And if they don't, and they won't respect it, then we have to take matters into our hands once again. And just a random thought, I'm just spitballing ideas, but let's say that if the person is found and there's 6 votes that say, okay, this person needs to go to a trial, and the system won't honor that, at that point, we the people have a backup plan and say, okay, let's have a list of 1,000 people, and 100 people randomly get selected, or 100 people randomly get selected at this point, because the system won't take care of this injustice. And they get to go and they show up at somebody's house and they citizens arrest them. And you have maybe a different group of people that are willing to do that, because not everybody's going to be willing to do that, but I bet there are some people out there who are willing to see justice. And if 100 people show up, and they don't have to be armed, and they could wait until somebody's not at their property or whatever. I mean, there's so many different options, but at that point, we the people now take the power back in our hands, and it's no longer in the system's hands, and we do it right and just in the way everything should be, out in the public, out in the open, with no way to hide it and no way to shut it down and no way to do buddies for friends and nepotism and corruption to take over. And at this point, we can set everything right on every level. Even those people in DC, they live somewhere, they have houses somewhere, they're doing corrupt stuff somewhere. We all know they are. Prove it, put it out, let's do it. Shake them out. Shake them all out. All of them. There will be nowhere to hide with this idea. All these people that are doing this corrupt stuff, there will be nothing they can do. They will be 100% out in the open. And I know they're going to hate this idea, so they're definitely going to try to shut me down on a lot of levels. So welcome to the next level, I guess. But yeah, by the way, I am running for sheriff, and this is part of my beliefs, and this is part of the reason I'm doing it. I do not want to put myself out there and be crazy like this, but somebody has to create these ideas. So I'm just standing by what I believe, and I'm not just going to say this stuff and then not back it up, as much as I do not want to be in this situation. It's hard. It's really hard, but it is what it is, and I'm trying to help the world. I'm trying to help people, and I'm throwing out ideas, and I think that this is one of the best ideas to get the power back into the people's hands and stop the corruption that's going on in this world. So think about it, people. Really just try and do something like this to put the power back in our hands. I think it's a great idea. And put the same words that they say to us. I mean, if you've done nothing wrong, you ain't got nothing to hide, so you guys should love this, right? The system should love this idea, because they've done nothing wrong and they don't have nothing to hide. So tables have turned. It's our turn now. We the people, take the power back. Love y'all. Let's keep it peaceful. We always have to be peaceful. We can never do anything violent, because they have a monopoly on violence, and that's not what we want ever. So always keep everything as peaceful as possible, guys. I'm really trying to push for peace in this world, so don't misconstrue anything I'm saying. This is a way to get the power back to the people and try and set things right somehow. So thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.